Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got the top 353, top 3, top 5, top 3. However you want to say it, I had such a hard time coming up with a title for this video. It was originally going to be top 3 hundos, but these bottles aren't necessarily hundos, and you'll see what I mean when we get to them. So that's why you'll see top 3, top 5, top 3, top 3 hundos, kind of like, and then we'll have top 5 double oaks, and then we'll have top 3 cigar pairings. Now, you see these bottles on the table here because I wasn't supposed to buy any more bottles for the month of December, so I shot a December bottle haul video. So since I can't put these in that video, and it's not quite January yet, and I'm going into dry January, I still will be hunting, but I wanted to give these bottles some shine. So first of all, let me say shout out to Kevin at S&W, man. I was down at his store today picking up a bottle, and I gotta give a shout out to the Bourbon Judge because I left him with my Bourbon Judge JT Mellick pick. I took some bottles by there and I wanted him to, sample them. I know he had a lot of things to do, so I left the JT Mellick with him, and I wanted to hear what his thoughts were on the bottle. He enjoyed the small sample that he had, but that's a bottle you really kind of want to enjoy on its own, sitting back. But like I said, he really enjoyed it. And shout out to you, Kevin, once again. Shout out to the Bourbon Judge, man. That pick is amazing. This right here is the Stag 24C. Now, if you are a fan of the channel, you know that I already have a 24B. It is a monster. That thing came in, I think, number 4, if I'm not mistaken, on my best whiskeys of 2024. And then, of course, picked these up about a week ago. I cannot resist when I go into a store and I see an old bottle. So this store right here, this is Berry, I think it's Berry Street Wine and Liquors or something like that, or Berry Road Liquors, something like that. It's right there on 228. But this right here, man, the old Knob Creek bottles, whenever I see them, I got to pick them up. They even have, this is the non-age stated, they even have the other big non-age stated, the 1.75 that has like the patchy logo on it, like the original Knob Creek. And then of course they had the old style Maker's Mark cast strength. Now the other one that I have is a 2016 batch 1. This is a 2015 batch 4. These are some great bottles. I think the 2016 batch 1 is better than this bottle, but still, man, old makers, you can't go wrong. Now let me clean up the table so I can get into the top 353. Let's get into my top 3 semi-hundos. So this is a stand-in bottle. This is going to be the Penelope 9-year estate. That thing comes in at, I think, like 101 proof, runs about 79 to 80 bucks, something like that. That is quite a bit for a 101 proof product. I know it's 9 years old. You got products out there like Knob Creek. I'm not going to go any further, but I had this at Dennis's Bourbon Meetup. Shout out Dennis. That was an amazing bottle. So I felt like since it didn't make my list of whiskeys of 2024, all of these did deserve some camera time with their own list. All right, coming up next, this one did make the list of 2024. This was number 20. That bottle just surprised the heck out of me, man. This is the Wild Turkey 101 proof 8-year 70th anniversary. I didn't expect for it to be any different than normal 101. I was like, okay, it's 8 years old. Regular Wild Turkey 8 years is typically between 6 and 8 years old. That's what the rumors are. So I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it is. And this thing, the more it sits, man, it just gets better and better. All right, number 1 spot for the semi-hundo list. This is the Remus. This was also on my list of 2024 whiskeys of the year. That cherry note in this thing just does it for me. I mean, I love Four Roses products anyway, and whenever something is super cherry heavy, it reminds me of Four Roses, and this thing right here is incredible. Now, it is very pricey. Very pricey. It's older whiskey in there. I forgot how many it's on the bottle. You've got some 2014, some 2007. So you do have some older whiskey in here, but same thing with the Knob Creek. You've got 9-year-old Knob Creek. It's 100 proof and it sits on the shelves anywhere between 30 and 35 bucks. Let me clear the table for the next list. Next up is my list of double oak. So this was going to be 3 lists, and then I said, well, I got an honorable mention. Then I had kind of another honorable mention. So I said, look, this is my list. Why not just do a 5? So then you go 353. So the next bottle up is in this glass. Now, I hated on this whiskey. Like, Can't stand the shelfer. Comes across with this stinky cheese note that I just cannot stand. Comes across very bland on the palate. Everyone kept saying, get a pick. So it wasn't until I got myself a pick of the Woodford Double Oak from Nixon Clinton, shout out Nixon Clinton, that I was turned around, because I was all the way wrong on this one. Like, the picks on this thing, and now I have had another pick since, and it was better, but it still wasn't as good as this. But this right here, man, just there's this heavy maple note, the same kind of maple note that I get in Maker's Mark products. It's like a vanilla cream, a banana note comes through. Oh my gosh, like a citrus note, a chocolate note. Oh my gosh, man, like this pick, and they still have more. So if you live by Nixon Clinton down here in Waldorf, man, get yourself one of these picks. Just do yourself a favor and get one of these picks. Cheers. That is just good. So of course this was an honorable mention. So this is number 5. This was going to be my second honorable mention, but I just thought it was too good to kind of make it an honorable mention. So down at number 4 on the list, man, this is Elijah Craig Toasted Rye. At first, when I first had it, I did a review. I was like, is it $30 better than what's, typically on the shelves? That is still up for debate, but I have really been enjoying this thing lately, man. Especially pairing it with cigars, it has been doing very well. I do have that pairing list coming up. This is not on the list. I am keeping that list 2-3, but I have just really been enjoying this bottle, man. It's a very easy bottle to sip. If you are not heavy into ryes, this is not a super high like 95.5 rye mash bill. I think that if you are a bourbon drinker who can tolerate ryes, this right here will fit the bill. All right. Number 3 on the list, shout out to Marco when I went to his bourbon meetup. It was cigars and bourbon, man. Marco was loving this bottle. I was loving this bottle. To me, this Peerless Double Oak is a do-it-all when it comes to sticks, man. You can throw any stick at it and it will stand up on its own, not to mention the heavy chocolate notes that I like in this bottle. The only thing that I will not Peerless on is the price, man. Some of these bottles are just expensive for no reason. Like Peerless Double Oak, I do understand, sweet mash, all that stuff. It's very pricey, but it is very good and you have to be a fan of oak because it is very oaky. All right, number 2 on the list. This did not make my list of whiskeys of the year for 2024. If I had a number 21 spot, it probably would have been there. I thought about reshooting the video. The thumbnail said 20 plus. I mean, I actually thought about reshooting the video just to put this on that list. This is the Rebecca Creek Spanish Oak. And this bottle right here is just, to me, incredible. It is very good. It's if you have a chance to get yourself a pour or pick up a bottle, do it. And if you find a bottle, you might want to grab it and hide it somewhere, because from what I understand, these are going away. Like, they won't have any more of these Rebecca Creek Spanish Oaks for like at least another, someone said like 7 to 9 years, because I think that's how long that they were aging them, and then they would age them again in the Spanish Oak. So, take that for what it's worth. Like I said, I think that was a little bit of a rumor that's possibly true, but from what I understand, these are going away. So if you see one, snatch it up, hide it. If you want to crack it and sip on it. Don't do what I did and punish this bottle. All right, number 1, Double Oak on the list. This is the Tumbling Dice Double Oak. This is the Tumbling Dice 8-year Double Oak. Dude, for the price, it is ridiculously flavorful, easy to drink at 105 proof. I mean, I'm feeling this bottle, and this is the first Double Oak that they've released, so who knows what the future holds. I don't know if they're going to have a 9-year, if they're going to have a 7-year. You can tell what the age of the whiskey is by the dice on the front. So the number on each die, total them up, and then you know what the age of the whiskey is in this bottle. This right here was just one amazing, phenomenal bottle, man. I thought I was going to be able to get a backup. Got it from Esquire Liquor. I shot a message to my man Scott and was like, hey man, pick these up. This thing is great. He goes up there to get a bottle. A couple of days later, it was like, hey, they don't have any more. I was fuming because I knew that they had quite a few. So I was kind of going through this bottle like, oh yeah, this is a great bottle. I'm definitely getting it back up. Nope, didn't happen. So let me get the table set up for the last 3 and I'll be right back. You already know what time it is. Shout out to Mrs. Bourbon Drop. This was a stocking stuffer that she picked up for me. This is a whiskey glass that actually holds your cigar. She said, I got it for you because when I see you smoking your cigars, you always sit it on top of something or you put it on top of your glass. So, you know, thank you, babe, for being thoughtful and thinking about me. This is going to be a nice addition to all of my other whiskey and stick stuff. But we are going to get into pairings. So, number 3 on the list is the Joseph Magnus. Now, I did get this Joseph Magnus and gave it a great review. Thought the regular Joseph Magnus was kind of nutty. The more and more I go to it, the more and more I just dislike it. This right here pairs so well with anything that you throw at it. It is just, I don't want to necessarily say that it is a do-it-all because I have paired sticks with it that didn't pair so well before, but for the most part, it will go with anything that you throw at it. Number 2 on the list, Penelope Rio. This Penelope Rio does very well with anything that you throw at it. I mean, anything that you throw at it. It's very flavorful, very sweet. I do like my whiskeys to be very sweet when I'm smoking a cigar because most of the time, the sweeter they are, the better they hold up to a stronger cigar. That's what I found. But that is not always the case because my number one do-it-all will pair with any stick any day of the week. You might already know if you're a fan of the channel is this Oaken Eden. This is a weeded Oaken Eden pick for the Virginia ABC. Comes in at 114 proof. It is finished with a French oak spiral. Look at how dark that is. I mean, that is just ridiculous, man. And it is just, it turns into a different animal. The minute you light up a stick and you start sipping on it, it just turns into a different animal. Like, it is, to me, it turns into like this milk chocolate. Almost like maybe like Nestle Quick mixed with like real milk chocolate, like drizzled in. This thing is amazing. So this is my number 1 pairer with sticks for the year of 2024. Put down in the list whatever your top 3, top 5, whatever are. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.